All right, so where am I? Welcome to Stormz Tech Corner. We are going to look at something you need to play games on a PC, and that would be a PC. So what we've decided to do is look into the process of designing, and then maybe in a little bit we'll do a video on how to build the PC itself. So I needed to build one anyways. Let's talk about it. Let's look at the way it works. But the first thing you want to do is decide, what do you need to run on a PC, right? Do you need to run games? Do you need to run just business stuff? Obviously games, because that's what we're doing. Do you need to create games? What kind of a video card do you need? How do you want to do it? I always come to the same place when I start a PC build. And it's called PCPartPicker. All right, so this is a website I discovered several years ago when I decided I wanted to build a PC. To not only get ideas, but it also has compatibility checker, and sometimes it has links to where you can buy the part the cheapest. So I'm not looking to build a cheap machine. I'm not looking to build a $7,000 machine. I look around and see, what are my specs? What do I want to work with, and go from there. Now on my account, I have several completed builds. Let's see. I have the one that I'm currently actually recording on is the Fallout build. Let's bring up my part list. This was from a couple of years ago, actually 4 years ago now, 2014. I built it with my son. The Fallout build, we put all these pieces together on PCPartPicker. We ended up replacing a couple of them as we wanted to go. I've since replaced the video card, but everything else is doing pretty good. But it's getting a little long in the tooth. Some of the systems aren't working the way they should. Audio's a bit flaky. So I'm going to go ahead and do another one. Now, I also just did a build structure for a friend of mine, Bodie. We did his build. I was starting to look at one a while ago called Bumblebee. And the reason I do this is I like to do PCs that are different. I don't want to use the same PC as everybody else. I don't want to buy just a box. Now, this one originally was the Corsair was the yellow version. I wanted to have one, but again, this is still almost just, it's a rectangle. I'm not impressed, right? Everybody has a rectangle. Back in the day when PCs first started, everybody had a white case. Well, I wanted a colored case, right? So I was going to do my own, but that's a different story. So I'm not looking to do one. Now, I know there is one called Tristellar. I have not been able to find it. Watch, it shows up now. Because it looks different, right? It's a different PC. It's different about it, right? So I like that. But again, if it's not there, it's not there. So I also go to, guess what? Google, right? I want to find a unique case. So unique PC case, right? 2018, 2019. I did find one, by the way, that I'm probably not going to get, but I'll show you why. But they're still square, right? It's like, it's square, you know. Maybe a little bit different than a square, or maybe, hey, a rectangle as opposed to a square, whatever. But you're still, right? You need to make it different. Yeah, I'm not impressed at all. So we did find one, Cougar Gaming. Cougar, probably spelling wrong. That's why I like Google. It corrects it for me. Excuse me. We'll cut that out. So Cougar Gaming. Okay. We're going to go there. And they have some unique cases. More unique than others, but they're still squares. They're still rectangles, right? I mean, yeah, they're pretty cool looking. So I'm going to maybe wait until PAX East when I go to look at the tower, but I don't want just a tower, right? I want something neat. I want something cool looking. I want something different. And here's not bad. right? Let's see, the Cougar. Does it look like a square? No, that's not bad. All right, so we'll think about that one. Let's see if PCPartPicker has Cougar of that one. Let's bring up a system build. Let's put in over here, we have a case. We will type in Cougar. If I can spell it right, probably can't. C-O-U-G-A-R. Let's see. Let's put in the list so I can see the pictures of the cases. Oh, but look, it changed the filter. That was a bad way to do it. They should have done it differently, but they didn't listen. All right, so Cougar. Again, rectangle, rectangle, rectangle. Oh, not bad, right? The ATEX tower, still somewhat of a rectangle, but not bad. All right, so we'll for now we'll add this to the part list. Let's see. Let's go back. Let's look again. It's okay. I'm not minding the price, but it's still a square, still a rectangle. All right, let's talk about the next one, right? So what else do we want to make our own unique PC? What do we want it to look like? The one I built with my son actually uses the Corsair, and it looks like, or we're trying to look for a Fallout look when we did it, the Fallout type thing. Challenger mid-tower, a rectangle, right? I guess I just don't like rectangles, but I'm used to it, right? So let me give you an example of what I was talking about. Again, it's not a rectangle, and there's no picture in PC part list, but HP Omen case. So you can buy the case for $550, right? To me, it's cool. And it's still a square. It's just on its side, and it's got some lighting, and that's pretty cool. But I sort of like this Gemini X. So let's see how much that is. Let's see, a dual build. Oh, that's an interesting idea. Then I can take all these parts that I have extra and put them together. Let's try that. Let's do Gemini. Cougar Gemini X. $700. No, not gonna happen. All right. So far, the Omen, $550 I might think about. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the add to the part list. We're gonna make the Omen. We may have compatibility issues. What are the details? And able to verify. Yeah. Okay. So can't verify that. So we'll make a different case because we're gonna get. That's not the idea here. So let's go back. Let's change the case. Again, I do this for the reason of I like to be able to do, let's do the PUBG build I was thinking about. Because, well, some don't like it. I do. Let's take the PUBG case, right? We're looking like a drop there. Let's buy it. I'll probably get it off of Amazon, but for now, let's add it to the part list. Now, okay, so it's checking for compatibility between the processor and the case. So far, it hasn't found an issue. Now, cooler. What are good coolers, right? So, they have to look cool, right? Because there's going to be an outside to it. So, I like color. I like things to be able to change the color. Let's see. Anything exciting color-wise? I don't want white, but let's look at this Corsair here. This is the one that we just bought for another guy's PC. Not a whole lot of color there, so I'm not quite sure that's the one I want. Let's go with the RBG Platinum for now. There's a CPU cooler. We're going to throw that on there, see if that works, which it does. Let's pull in a motherboard. Everybody has their favorite motherboard. I like Gigabyte. Let's see. Take a shot at. We'll look at mid-range. Probably that one. Let's try this one. Okay, so we'll add this to the part list. Again, same thing. It does a compatibility check. It's going to look into is the size is going to fit. It's got this whole set, so it's going to go ahead and look for there. Now, the next piece is with PUBG. We have this case that, again, unique, and it's still a rectangle, but somewhat unique. Looking like a drop, right? So let's see if we got some either red or blue memory to go in there. I don't know if there's blue. I wonder if blue would look any good. So let's put memory. You can go in, you can pick your type of memory if you want. I'm going to pick just blue and see what comes up. I got some good memory. Now, you want to have a lower CAS if possible. I don't like a CAS of, I prefer like 11, so I'm not quite sure I like these, but let's see what they're coming out at. Let's take off the blue. Let's put in a CAS because that's more important to me. Well, let's back up for a second. Now, it will check compatibility for memory, but, I mean, why look at the wrong stuff here? So let's go back to our parts list and look at the motherboard. And the motherboard takes 288 pin DDR4 2133. Okay. DDR4, we're going to go back, pull the memory again. We're just going to slide it, so it's always going to pull in DDR4. It'll then compatibility check for us. Come on, go back one. There you go. Good boy. All right, so let's go down here. We're going to check DDR4. Whole bunch of DDR4. We're going to skip all that because notice it's grayed out those that aren't going to work. Right? It knows that you have that motherboard selected. So let's do this. Let's sort by your latency. I like this 12 and 10, but oof, I'm telling you that's expensive there, right? So let's talk about, let's 13. All right, let's look at then, we wanted red or blue, again, because it's going to be up on the desk. I'm going to see it. I want to know what it is. I like PCs that you can see the color inside. Let's say black and blue, black and red, and then just blue. Okay, so it now has got those in. We've sorted them still by CAS. We're still coming at 14 and 15. Like, all right, fine. I would like 32 megabytes of RAM, so I like Corsair, so let's just add this one. And this is probably going to be a $2,000-ish PC when I'm done with it. Right now it's $1,000 and I haven't had that video card yet. So we got 32 gigs of RAM. Let's do a video card. Memory for the video card. Let's not do that. Let's go ahead and do 4 and 5 stars. Let's do color again, right? So black and blue, black and red, blue, red and black, because I want to have a look to it again, right? So part of having an open PC and an acrylic window is you can look in the PC and look at it. Doesn't affect performance at all, but hey, it's okay. So we're looking at a video card, memory wise. Let's flip that. Now you may not need much more than 4 gigs. I may need more of it, but I'm gonna go with 8 gig. Now I prefer I prefer MSI, Gigabyte, and EVGA, but I don't have a preference at this point. So let's go over to my local store where I'm going to pick up said video card and see what ones are there at a reasonable price. So let's go video card. And up I come with video card. And let's see what's on sale today. I don't know. Let's go. I want to spend somewhere in the, I don't know, $400 range at most on a video card. It's one of the most important pieces, but it's about where I want to put it. So let's sort this by price, lowest price first. And then I'm going to say over 2, 3. Let's put 4 and 5 on there just in case. All right, so what do we got? Mid-range. I always listened to my grandma, or her thing was mid-range, right? You want to do the middle, not the top, not the bottom, mid-range. All right, so I've never heard of, here's a Radeon. That's an alarm. We'll turn that off. So let's talk about the Radeon. All right, the Red Devil RX. All right, if we're going to go with a red theme, that looks pretty good. 259. I'm okay with Radeon. Let's see. Seems a little low to me, though. I know, no, I don't get the most expensive video card. I guarantee you that. So, but I don't get the cheapest. Again, my grandma's rule, mid-range. EVGA overclocked. So these are coming in the $200 range. Wow. We're quite the price difference there. Let's see. Before I pick one that's compatible, let's make sure it's compatible. We'll do that after I pick it. And again, right now I'm sort of going for aesthetics, sort of not. That looks an interesting one. Radeon overclocked 8 gig PCI. It's got a cooler, so we can probably remove the cooler. But we may want to leave it. 269. I sort of like that blue, right? I think that might do pretty good in that case. And have it stand out, because that will stand out. That's one of the things in those cases, you see the video card pretty well. I seem to be looking at that, so I don't know. I'm unclear here. I'm going to make a choice for the point of the video. Let's pick a choice, right? So we are going to pick, you know what? I like that blue one. Let's see what power-wise, if that's going to work. So let's put Sapphire over on our video card. See if that even shows up. Sapphire. Which one was it? It was the Sapphire Nitro. So let's go to choose a video card. Sapphire Nitro. No. All right. So what we'll do. We don't have a Nitro. Maybe it's the number. Let's pull the number off it. RX 590. So let's RX 590. Not the one I was thinking about. But hey, no, I don't want to do it. I lied. I don't want to do it. I want to go with, I'm looking for the, let's see if they blue or red. Just blue or red. And there are two that are blue or red. Let's go with, look at this one, AMD Pro WX 5100. No, nice blue. All right. That's got PCI Express 16, 8 gig, DDR5. All right, let's see what's going to work. Let's pop this in. Add to parts list. All right, again, we're now working through the compatibility, making sure we're checking. Based on the prices that are in there, we're coming up at $1,300 so far. Power supply. Honestly, I go into Micro Center and I find that decent power supply that's modular. You want to get a semi-modular or modular power supply so that you can unplug and plug in different pieces that you want to. They're usually about $100 for a gold one. So here's a plus gold modular power supply 2018. 750 watts is completely fine. What I like about that, so it's an RM750X. We'll pop over here. We're going to power supply RM750X. It's right there. We're going to add it. Again, it's checking all the compatibilities. Will it fit in the case? Is the video card too big? Is the memory too big? Will it fit inside? You know how this is going to look. Now we can control the color with the RGB Platinum video cooler. We're going to do that. We're going to want an operating system. We're going to pull Microsoft Windows Home. We don't need Pro. All right, memory, 32 gigs, storage. Now, what I want to do is I need an SSD for Windows and Windows alone, right? I like to keep my SSD as clean as possible, but the one I have with 250 is too small. So I want to grab an SSD that is at least 512 or 1 gig. Again, we'll go to Micro Center, which is my local store, and I'll find a part that is equivalent to this, type it in my phone to make sure it fits in the compatibility list once I get there. I'm not going to worry about it too much. So we have an SSD 2.5 gig for $70. All right, so if it's 1 gig for double that, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. We're going to pop that one in there. We're going to put 1 gig as our operating system drive, right? This is going to be our C drive. This is what we're going to have. Now I'm throwing these things together based on what I've done in the past. So if you haven't done this in the past, you just have to figure out A, do some reading on it, B, listen to my video because I'm awesome, but C, you have to use PCPartPicker and start listing through things. Throw stuff up there and pick them on the list and it'll tell you, hey, this is going to work or this is not going to work, right? So we wanted an additional storage. Now I do a lot of game work and now a lot of video work, so I need some serious space. How is this? And the capacity. Let's put the capacity. Do I want a color one? Not really, because the hard drive is going to be in the case. So let's talk about a capacity of, right now I've got an 8 gig. Let's go by price the other way. Let's not go into thousands of dollars, but I have an 8 terabyte that didn't cost me that much. It was like $200 maybe. So let's see. Here's an 8 terabyte Western Digital. Okay, I want a 7200 RPM. So let's make sure we mark that 7200 RPM. Again, personal preference. You can do what you want to do with it. I like Seagate. I like Western Digital. I like Toshiba. So to me, it's going to be, let's talk about price, right? Because storage is important, but storage is also pretty cheap nowadays. So I'm not going to overpay for storage. So let's talk about that. Let's grab, that's too much. Let's grab an 8 terabyte 240. Okay, we'll go with that one for now. See how that works. We'll add that one. And that's got a NAS to it, so that may work. I'm not sure. It's a little hard to turn on. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that one fits, how it works. All right. So what I want to talk about for a little bit here as we're walking through this is what you don't need to get separately now when you buy a motherboard compared to, back in the Stone Age. When PCs first started, you had to have a separate sound card, separate system card, separate blah, 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 blah. Now, a lot of those are supplied for you. If you look at this particular motherboard, which is the one I'm going to probably get once I confirm the case, you have this back end already there for you, right? So these connectors are for other ones. You have a RJ45 for network, you have USB, you have HDMI, you have stereo, you have a DIDI out, you have USB-C, you have all these connectors, right, already there. They're built into the motherboard. You don't need a separate sound card unless you want a particular one. You don't need a separate video card. In this case, though, I do, right? I don't want to have an integrated video card, and this one isn't. So that's, when I come down here and I scroll around and I say, okay, well, I don't need a sound card, wired network, wireless network. Well, wireless I might. It's because it's on the motherboard, right? Even though there are some fan controllers in the motherboard, I do like to add those to it. I do like to add a wireless network adapter if the motherboard doesn't have one. I also like to add a Bluetooth if the motherboard doesn't have one. So what you need to do is you need to open up the motherboard you're looking at. You need to check what specs it has already. So it's got 3.0 headers. It's got onboard Ethernet. It's got 6 the SATA connections. Crossfire support, right? All right, so it doesn't say about the different specifics. So what I want to do is, this is an X470 RS, okay. Let's take that. We'll go to the product site and let's confirm, right? So it's gigabyte. So it's for the AMD, which we're going to use it for. It's why it's compatible. It's got Crossfire, which we said. It's got an Ethernet LAN. It's got a What else does it need? It's a motherboard. You're not going to see too much of it. HDMI, gigabyte LAN, USB-C, which we saw. It's got some USB port connectors for on the case, audio adapters. Okay, it doesn't have Bluetooth, which I think I'm seeing, right? Maybe let's check. This is what I want to check, right? I want to make sure that it has everything we need. Okay, it does all that. Let's look at the specifications. All right. So it does have an onboard graphics if we're going to use it, which I'm not. Audio, Realtek, almost everyone has a Realtek. It's got the LAN, PC16, 2 of them, which is fine. Storage connectors, supports SLI, the USB. We talk about the connectors, USB-C, HDMI, RJ45, which we saw. I do not see a wireless network or Bluetooth. Okay, so we're gonna, if we want to have wireless, which we may or we may not, I don't need wireless for this particular PC. We could get a wireless card if we wanted to, or we could get a wireless USB dongle as opposed to. So right now I'm not going to worry about it. I think it's got everything I need, with the exception of the sound card. I mean, it doesn't have a mixer in it, so I'm still looking into the mixer. But this is the part of your list, right? So you have your list. You have what you already have. Whoops. We have our list to build. We know it's compatible. We've looked at the case. We're still looking at the case. but you gotta then think a little bit, right? Step back and start doing your pricing, right? As you're pricing through, start thinking about, well, do I really need these additional memory? Do you need more? Make sure you get the memories in the proper sequences. Make sure you read the memory. Make sure you have the memory that matches together. This particular one has 4 by 8 gig, and that's fine. You just want to make sure you get the memory in the right configurations for the motherboard. This does that, but it also you don't want to mess up. So I think this is a good system. You know, like I said, let's look a little bit deeper and work through a couple more things. We picked a Ryzen 2700X 3.7 gigahertz. Hey, look, my Patreon receipt is here. We'll skip that. So we picked the core processor. I picked the Corsair cooler. The Gigabyte motherboard. I have the Corsair memory. I have the Samsung hard drive, which is 1 terabyte. I have the Seagate 8 terabyte, which will be enough for a little bit, but I'll get more later. I've got the Radeon Pro video card. That one I'm still not quite sure if that's what I want to do, but we can talk about that and work through it. For now, I have the PUBG limited edition ATX case. Now, again, I said about the power supply, you want to do gold. You want to do 750 watts is all you're really ever going to need. Unless you are really running some top of the line sound stuff, or I don't know what, that would use that much power. Because if you look, PCPartPicker, and no, I'm not paid any money by them, will give you a couple things down below, right? It gives you a price list of what you can watch your pricing and buy when it's lowest if you want. You know, they like all of these are available. I'm pointing at it. It's on Amazon. You get it from Corsair. And where's the cheapest price, right? So I check that. I also check Micro Center, which is the one close by me. And I go through there, but look, it's using 248 watts, right? You're never gonna need 700 watts. I don't know. Seriously, what would you be running? But I pick 750. That's a nice number, just in case I put something in it that does drive it too far. So when you put together a PC, you need the processor, and the processor drives the type of motherboard. You can either get an Intel or you can get a AMD. Right now, those are pretty. You can get others, but those are the main two. You don't have to have a liquid CPU cooler. I like to put it on there. One of the things to remember though is when you put in, and we'll do this in the video when I build it. When you put in the cooler, don't put it on the top, right? Which is what I've got on the one over here, because that was the first one I've done with a liquid cooler. Because as one of my sons told me afterwards, is when it starts to leak in 6 years, it could drip on the other stuff, which makes sense, but I wish you had told me before I put it in. Eventually my plan is to switch it, but for this one, we'll make sure the case can allow us to put in the bottom. So while we're doing that, let's pull up and look at the case. You see it's got a pretty open case. It's going to be power supply in the bottom, your video cards in here. It does not have top vents. It has back vents. It has bottom vents. Let's see the other side. If you open it up, all right, it shows you the open. Your hard drives, and I'm pointing again, your hard drives are going to go here if you want to put them there. You got some cable routing here. You got 3 fans in the front. You got 2 places of fan in the bottom. Now, the CPU cooler then is going to probably go in the back. Let's see. Pretty cool looking. I like it. I like the case. I like NZXT. I like their cases. And yes, it's a rectangle. I know it. So not exactly thrilled. Maybe I'll change the case out before I do the actual build. We'll see what I can find. But I'm going to start gathering these pieces and we'll do a build. Figure out where we're at. Okay, so that looks good. Now, Notice these black screws, right? That's cool, right? And that looks that way. But there is, and again, I'm not paid by these guys either. There is a site I use, MP Tech. Nope. When I bought something from them. MNP. And there you go. MNP is it? MNPC Tech. This is a modding site where you can get supplies as well. Well, it looks interesting. They've got some parts to there. Now you can get some sleeving kits. You can do turntable feed, do all this other stuff. You can do some power supplies. Now with this NZXT, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do to it. Maybe I don't want to use that case. So that's what we're talking about, right? So let's talk this through. Do I want to leave this case as it is? Because pretty much this case is made to look like a drop box from PUBG, right? So there's not a place to put stuff on the front or the sides. You got your power, your USBs, your microwave, your microphone, and your headphone up top, and it's got the straps on it, which look pretty cool, even though it's probably just a laminate. But what I'm missing is what I like, and let me show you the Corsair case that we have. We have the Corsair case, which is, I'm probably going to change my mind now that I'm talking about it. Corsair case mods. We have basically, not this case. This is an awesome looking case. We have this same case, and I'll show you a picture of it. I'll put one up here later. But what we have is, I'm going to put it up so you look what I'm talking about. The Corsair Vengeance, which is a cool looking case. Nope, that's not what I thought it was. So let's look at case. Cases, blah, 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 blah. Notice all rectangles. Not impressed. You're starting with diagonals, not too bad. That's where Bumblebee was going to be. But still pretty much a rectangle. Now the one I like is a rectangle. That's an interesting case. I like that one. Maybe I'll put that one instead. No, I'm still looking for the Corsair case that we have. It may not be available anymore. I'll definitely have to put a video in here. Oh, there it is, the Vengeance Tower case. Military green, right? It's got the power switches up front. What we did is we took in the front and we put some knobs for fan control. Right, I wanted these to be fan control knobs that look like knobs. I wanted to actually have knobs on there, right? So we went to this whatever they were, MNPC Tech, and they have ways of doing it. They have knobs, they have feet, they have grills, they have colors, all this different stuff, which is pretty good. You got some film you can put on there. But what I was going to say, where this all came from, is there are some screws that maybe would look better on that PUBG one. No, they're not saying there. So they're thumbnail screws is basically what they are, but they're red, right? Instead of being black, they're red. So that looked pretty cool. But I think I'm going to change this up. And that's what I like about PCPartPicker, right? Because, you know what? This is a cool looking case. But I like to modify mine a little bit up front. So this is nothing I can do, right? This is pretty much the way it is. You can change the colors inside. You can change the colors of those little screws. But you're buying a PUBG case, and that's what it is. So, well, all right. Now, we're not going to do this. We're going to do something different. So we're going to look up this case. And this is what I really like about being able to build your own PC. You can make it your own PC. Personality, that counts, right? RGB, but then you're restricted. What I don't like is to be restricted, right? So give me freedom to do what I want to do, how I want to do it. Better yet, let's go back to MNPC Tech. Okay, and we have their cases. Chief Tech. All right. I don't know. See what I did. This is not a bad case. What I did, this is the white version of that, but we have an army green version of it. What I did, though, is I like the fact that they have mods for your cases. Was it the 900D? We went in and we replaced the acrylic that comes in the case with the Corsair case because it has a grill on it. I was like, I don't like that. It's got like a grill in it. I wasn't happy with it. So we put in like a greenish grill, right? So the idea was my son wanted to have it look like sort of a Fallout case. So we did that. But I go to this case store or website, and I looked to find those, right? So PC thumb screws. Here's what I saw the other day. These are red, right? So that would look cool on that, I think, the PUBG case, but I'm not thrilled with that PUBG case. So let's look at what else we could do, right? So I did like the Bitfinex. HP Omen, if I had $500 to pop on a case, it'd be cool, but again, you can't modify it that much, right? You need to be able to, I like to play with it. I like to make it different. So we're going to go Bitfinex, or however you want to say it. Got some colors going on. Still pretty square. Whoops, there's an interesting one, a rounded one. Okay. We're going to take this case, microboard. We'll go that one. Let's go to the color. So let's go to, guess where? PCPartPicker. We're going to go in. Now, this is the part what I really like about this, right? Because like, well, don't want that one anymore. Get rid of it. Thank you. We're going to come in. We're going to choose a case. So we're going to go over there. And we are going to do it a different way. Let's go in and do that. So we've selected the Bitfinex. Let's do the list so we can see a picture. And the rectangle, 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 and rectangle. What the heck? They don't have any of the non-rectangle ones anymore. Okay. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. So let's go back, even though I said I wouldn't do it. Let's go back and look at the Cougars. But let's take off the Bitfinex. All right, so we could do this one again. Pretty cool looking. But is there a place to put knobs and stuff? Because I want it to look cool, right? Because what I was looking at is I wanted to have, because I have the knob one for the fan control on this one. What I want to do on the one I have, the one I want to control now, I want to have a fan control with a LCD, right? That's what I want to do this time. So let's look. Fan control. PC. Go to Amazon, why not? See, there you go. I like that look. That looks pretty cool too. I like that look. Thermaltake Commander F-Touch. See, it's going to go in the slot of the front of the case. So let's do that. Let's do the Sentry. It's going to go in the go into the 5.4 inch slot. So let's go over to PCPartPicker. I don't think it's going to work with that case. So let's go ahead and leave the case blank. You'll see why in a second. And we'll go back one more time. And then one more time. All right, so we're going to add another part. We're going to add a peripheral. So we're going to put in the NZXT. Let's just put it in this way. We'll just put Sentry. Okay, not in there. Let's put in Sentry. Fan controllers. See, if I read the words, that would have helped. Okay, there we go. NZC Sentry, NZXT. Let's look at thermal takers too. Now it's already telling me which ones would fit into a case if we had a case in there, but I don't have a case in there. So let's do this. Go back. I'm not thrilled with that Cougar either, so we're going to have to think about that case. I'm going to come back and show you what we have. So for now, we're going to add the Sentry 3, right? It goes in the form factor of the 5.25-inch drive bay. But now let's go into a case. So it is checking to find out which cases would fit. In other words, they have a 5.25-inch bay. So we're looking rectangle, 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 rectangle. Not rectangle. Not bad. Square, but not rectangle. Oh, there you go. Not going to pay $1,000, but not bad. Let's see. Rectangle, 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 rectangle. Oh, not bad on that one. Wonder how that would look. No, not bad, a white one like that, but I don't want white. Let's see. Nothing really throws me back. Except maybe this one, the thermal take tower, but I don't want it white. Again, this is what PCPartPicker does for you. It allows you to find all the pieces that fit together, and then you think about how they look and whether you want to do them or not. And oh, you know what? What if we do this? It's a rectangle, but let's think about that. It's red, so it's checked all the compatibility, right? So you've checked your AMD processor, you checked your Corsair cooler, your Gigabyte motherboard, your Samsung, your Seagate drives, your Pro is going to fit. Now the video card, right? We wanted it blue. Well, if it's going to be a red case, I don't know if I want it to be blue. So let's go in and let's add the video card, right? Let's go the memory. I want to go 8 gig. Let's just do it this way. Pretty much 8 gig. Sort by price. Get right mid-range. Thank you, Grandma. Now, I've used MSI before. And I've used AMD. Look at that one. Look at that 329. And it's the same one, but it's blue. So let's GeoForce 1070 armor. All right, that is not going to look bad. But let's do black and red and do red and black. All right, so it's gone through and it's already whittled down the ones you can fit, and I want to keep it right in that right price range so I can go by color, I can go by price range. It's already checking compatibility for me. I've had EVGA, I've had MSI. I'm okay with them. I have an Asus, so that would work too. Let's look at this MSI right here. MSI 50AG, black and red, not exciting. Let's change the list to list. I can look what it looks like. And we're back to that Power Devil. All right. Let's see. Again, to me, it's a form factor of looking cool and being powerful. It's going to be both. I like this one. Let's go to MSI. We'll add it to the parts list. Okay, that's checked everything, right? So you've got your processor, if you got your liquid cooler for your processor, which you can change the color, leave it red, change, modify, whatever you want to do. You have your motherboard, you have your Corsair memory, you have your Samsung operating system drive, you have your storage drive, your Seagate drive there. We have a video card, we have a case, we'll see if it stays that way. Windows 10, which we're going to build a Windows machine, so you have to buy Windows 10. When you put together the motherboard, and we'll show that as well, when you put together the machine, the motherboard will tie itself to Windows. You have so many times for Windows to move from one motherboard to another, so you have to be restrictive about it and go from there. Now, I want to think about sound cards because I want to have a better sound card than what I had. But I don't know what that means yet, right? I have Banana, voice meter Banana for audio quality, both faders and all that sort of stuff. And I want to look at whether or not I want to use a sound card as opposed to this mixer, but I don't think it's going to work that way. So I don't know. I'll leave this off for now. We'll leave it a go. So we then have your AMD, you have your motherboard, your hard drives, your video card, your case, your Corsair power supply. Again, it's modular. I don't have an optical drive because I honestly don't need one. I don't want to add any software. I'll figure that out when I get there. And there we are, right? So right now, the price point, sans monitor, is $1,914. Now, I think that's about what I want to spend. So I'm going to start buying the pieces and then start getting ready to have them, or at least leave this list, let it marinate for a little bit in my head, because right now we're at 358 watts, which is good. We're going to plug it into my desk of computers, which is good as well. I hope I don't kill this circuit here. I think this will look pretty good. I'm still not really tied to the case. I'm going to find a good case. But for now, that's where it's at. It's about the price range I want. Again, you can make this cheaper, right? I picked mid-range, a lot of stuff. Most of it's mid-range, but you can go the less expensive route, right? You don't have to have 2 drives. You don't have to have an SSD. It just makes boot up faster, which to me is awesome. I'm tired of slow boot ups. You don't have to have a $150 cooler. You can get coolers for $50 less. You can get a cooler for $50. Right, for your CPU cooler. Actually, some CPUs come with a cooler, right? Also, when I go to Micro Center and I look on Amazon, I will bet you I'll find a motherboard and AMD processor bundle, which will save me some money, because right now together they're $450. I bet you I could find it down toward the $350 range in a bundle. So we'll see what I do when I come up with this price list and start buying pieces. But the thing to remember is it's not hard to build a PC. It's really not. You just need to know what to do and use a site like PCPartPicker. I'm sure there's others, but this is the one I use. So I'll put the link below, but use PCPartPicker, start putting together builds, look around, see what's out there. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of builds on PCPartPicker. They're old ones, they're new ones, they change, they're expensive, they're cheap, whatever. Everybody has a goal. My goal is usually a cool looking PC, as cool as I can do without too much, physical changes to a case. And we'll see where it can go. But this is Stormz Tech Corner for Dungeon Crawler Network. Thank you for joining me for the PC building part 1. We're going to call it build. Now you could buy a PC if you want, but to me they're limiting. They limit your choices, and I would rather make the choices myself. So that's what I did. This is again Stormz. I am founder of Digital Piper Studios. We have a couple games on Android, a couple games on Apple or iOS. We're working on an RTS for iOS. We're working on a space game for Android, several other things we're working on at the same time, which is why I sort of focus on one thing or another so we can get one published. But that's okay. This is, again, Stormz Dungeon Crawler Network. Check us out on dungeoncrawlernetwork.com. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Twitter. Check us out on any social media you want to. We're there. We're there to talk about gaming, and this particular one is about your PC that you're going to use to build and game, because, PC Master Race. All right, thank you. Bye.